When you start a game with e4 and e5, your opponents will always expect you to play the move knight f3. But what if you could surprise them on the second move by playing knight c3 instead? This opening is called the Vienna. For me, this is one of the most underrated openings ever. I've gotten so many easy wins because of this opening. There's a lot of traps you can set to win in just a few moves, but even if your opponents know the best moves, you still end up in a very good position. We're gonna look at a bunch of lines here. We're gonna start off with the most fun one, which is called the Vienna Gambit that happens after knight f6. After knight f6, you play the move f4, giving away this pawn for free. Why do you do that? Well, if they do take, it's actually a mistake, because you can play the move e5. The knights cannot go to any of these squares. All of these are covered, and they must go back to g8. After this, you would love to play the move d4, but the move queen h4 can come and give a check. So before that, you need to play the move knight f3 covering the check. Let's say they play the best move, which is d6. You will now play d4 regardless. You will take back this pawn. You will have superior development, and you'll just be in a better position. If they decide to take on e5, you will not take back right away. You will not take with the pawn because your opponent can then exchange queens. You will not take with the knight because of this check. So instead of that, you will play the move queen e2, pinning the pawn to the queen. If they try to defend it with the move knight c6, you can now play the move bishop takes f4. The pawn cannot take back because it's pinned. If they try to break the pin by playing a move like bishop e7, you can just take the pawn. You will win this back. You may be winning this pawn soon. There's just too many threats for black. So now we know that e takes f4 isn't the best move, but there's still a lot of other moves they can play. One such move is d6, declining the gambit. This move actually isn't that great because it'll just allow you to get good development. You have good space with these pawns, and you just have a very solid position. Let's say they decide to play knight c6. You can pin it. Maybe they'll try to break it. Now you can play the move d3, defending like this. If they just try to continue developing, now you can take the knight, bishop takes back, and you will end up winning that pawn. This is just an example of how such games can go. If they try to defend by playing knight c6, this is just horrible. It's probably the worst move because you can take, knight takes, now you can play d4. Now you have 2 pawns in the center. The knight is being attacked. Let's say it goes back to c6. Now you can play e5. And this knight has to go back. You just have 2 center pawns. You have way more space to put out your pieces. You can really just do anything. So now we go to the main line, which is d5. This is the best move by far. In this situation, you have to play f takes e5. The knight will take on e4. And now here there are a few moves. You could play knight f3, but I just think that's quite boring. There's a lot of variations, and I just don't think it's that interesting. So I prefer playing queen f3. Here black has a few options. The most common move is knight takes c3. You will just capture towards the center. Next move, you will play something like d4. You pretty much always play d4 unless they play c5. If you play d4 now, takes, and queen h4 is a problem. And if you try to defend with queen f2, bishop can come in and give a check. So you have to move to e2, and it's just a very unpleasant situation. If they do play pawn to c5, I recommend just playing queen g3. This is the best move. You're just defending this from any future attacks. Let's say they play knight c6, you can just pin it, and you're in a good position. Okay, if they don't play c5 and play a natural move like knight c6, this is already better for white, because white can play d4. You again have this good center. You can play a move like this. You just have good space. This is what happens in a lot of these Vienna openings. You end up getting a really good position, and you can convert quite easily. A better move is knight c6. If this occurs, you will play the move bishop b5, just pinning. The reason why you don't want to play knight takes e4 is because of this fantastic move, knight d4. So now black is hitting this and your queen. And I'm going to show you a trap that happens quite a lot. Most people end up playing queen d3 because they want to defend this knight in case it gets taken. But after d takes e4, queen takes e4, the opponent can now play bishop f5, which is just a killer move. So that pawn will fall, black will get a fork, and it's just very bad for white. Bishop b5 is just the better move. Let's say now they take. Which pawn should you take back with? You actually shouldn't take back the b pawn. Why? Let me just show you a sequence of moves. Queen h4, g3, queen e4, the queens get traded. Now look at your pawns and look at black's pawns. Your pawns are doubled, they are separated, and also you can't defend this pawn. So you need to take. So now black has the bishop pair. You cannot castle anywhere safe, while black can just get their bishop out. If you try to play a move like d4, they can just take en passant. Now they can castle, and black is just super safe. Black can quite easily start an attack on your pieces, while you just don't have anything. It's just not a good position. So that's why you should take with the d pawn. The most common move here is queen h4. You will do the same. They will probably trade queens. You will develop normally. If they unpin, you need to take because you cannot defend that pawn. And you will play a move like rook f1. You will then develop your bishop. You will long castle. And your king will be very safe under these pawns. So that's what can happen if they decide to play knight c6. Another very good move here is f5. The point is just solidifying the knight here. If you try to take en passant, the knight will just take back. The position isn't terrible. You can play something like d4, but black is just better because your queen is just stuck on f3, blocking the square for your knight. Black can just easily develop and target your pieces. Black can play something like c5 in the future. It's a good position for him. So instead of that, the best move is just d3, kicking the knight. After knight takes c3, b takes c3, your position is fine. The only good move is d4. Wow. Here you'll play the move queen g3 again to move over with this knight. If they take this pawn, he takes e3, you will now actually play the move bishop e2. Why do you play bishop e2? Well, that's because there's actually quite a nice trap. Let's say your opponent just plays knight c6, developing. You can now play the move bishop h5. If they try to defend, bishop takes g6, pawn takes g6, queen takes g6. This is completely winning. Black plays king e7, you can play bishop g5, picking up the queen. If he plays king d7 and take with check, of course they can't go here because of bishop g5, so they need to go back, follow him. If he does this again, now you can play e6, killer move. He doesn't want to lose his queen by going here, so he goes here. e7. Look at this. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. King takes e7 is practically forced, and now you can pick up the queen. This will probably never happen. It's just a really fun trap. Okay, now obviously they don't always play knight f6. The most common move is actually knight c6. If they play knight c6, I recommend playing bishop c4. Just developing the bishop. Or now, if they decide to copy you and play bishop c5, this variation is called the Copycat Variation. It is very, very fun. The best move here is queen g4. You are taking advantage of the bishop moving away. You are now threatening to win the pawn and win the rook. Most people play queen f6, which is just not a good move at all. But why do they play it? They play it because they look at this. They think this must lead to some kind of mate, and it defends against this. Here you will play the move knight d5, hitting this and the queen. Most people will get excited. They'll play queen takes f2, king d1. Some people will play the move queen f1 thinking it's checkmate, and then they lose their queen, and then you can laugh at them. But That's probably not gonna happen unless you're rated like 400. Now the best move is just king f8. The most popular move for some reason is d6. The reason is, after you take this, they want to play knight d4. They're trying to start some sort of attack on your king, but this is nothing to worry about. I will show you a trap you shouldn't fall for. Don't play knight h3. Probably the worst move in this position. The best move here is actually queen h4, but that's not what most people play. Most people play bishop takes h3, which is catastrophically bad as long as you find rook f1, because now you are attacking the queen and you are threatening mate. Most people recapture and hangman too. Yep, mate in 2. Queen f3. If they move over here, you do not play this. This is not checkmate. Checkmate is knight takes c2. Beautiful. But you don't want to deal with any of that. Just play c3. You're going to kick out the knight. You're going to win the rook. It's easy. Very easy. Now we're going to go back to king f8, which is the best move. Now you can play knight h3. You can play it in this situation because d6 has not been played. You are just attacking the queen. Most people play queen d4 because that's the only safe spot. But now you can play the move d3. That queen is stuck in there. That is jail. Cannot go out. That queen can just not move. So this position isn't good at all. Now a good player would play the move h5, counter-attacking. Best move here is queen g5, just staying on this. So they're forced to play queen d4 anyways. And you do the same thing. The only reason this isn't as bad is because of bishop e7. But then you just go back to g3. This is just a better position. The king cannot castle. It's very exposed. The queen is just stuck in jail. There's really nothing black can do. Now, if they don't copy you and play a move like knight f6, you're just gonna play naturally. You can't play f4 right now. Can you figure it out? The tactic here is knight takes e4. If you take back, d5, it's center fork, and you are going to end up losing a piece. If you decide to do a desperado because you're going to lose a piece anyway, that's actually a mistake. Because queen takes d5, the knight is hit, that pawn could fall too, and it's very, very unpleasant. So now you just need to play normally, d3. Your opponent probably play something like bishop c5. Now you can play f4 because the pawn is defended. If they take, you will just take back. You have developed your bishop. You have opened up the f-file. This is fine. If they just play a normal move like d6, you can just play knight f3 and play very positionally, very normal. Or you can play this move f5. Wow. Just stopping any pieces getting here, closing down the position, and getting into a very interesting game. If you decide to play knight f3 and the bishop comes in, play a move like knight a4, just trading off this knight for this bishop. This position is totally fine for both sides, but white has just a slight advantage. Now I'm just going to show you quite a fun line. If they take like this and you play e5 and they decide to play the move queen e7, which isn't good. After you play queen e2 and they play knight g8, so you just develop, they play knight c6, you play d4 and they play d6. d6 is a really bad move. Very, very bad. Why? Because of knight d5. Hitting this and the queen. So the queen needs to do something. Queen d7, e takes d6, queen d7, and now you play the move e takes d6 with check. Remember, you played the move queen e2. This is just a really, really bad position. They don't want to lose a piece. They have to play king d8. Now you play d takes d7 with check. The only move is taken like this, and you end up winning the queen. If you enjoyed this short Vienna guide, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me a lot. Thank you for taking time out of your day and watching this video. And I'll see you next time. Peace.